The broken watch weighed on Li Rong's palm. Cold silver. Cracked glass. His brother, Yang, had been here. He had hidden from Marshal Zhang Jun's men. Li Rong stood in the ransacked apartment. The walls smelled of dust and absence. He had deserted military duty to protect his brother. The world had fractured faster than he could run. His brother was not recruited by the powerful North. Yang was lost, and Zhang Jun's forces were hunting him. Li Rong realized the depth of his failure. He had bought a small army of 20 men to defend a rail spur. The Fengtian armored train had simply pushed through. Now, his small unit was merely a convenient police force for the new rulers. Li Rong carried his orders like unpaid debt. The guilt hardened into reluctance. He decided he couldn't wait for Yang to return to a dying town. He had to go to the source of the rot. He would follow the old chain of command one last time. He would travel back to Beijing. The capital was a knot of old loyalties and new betrayals. He had to see if the old order could still offer a shield. He left his 20 men with a new commander, Chen Bo. Li Rong knew Chen Bo was an opportunist. He fought for whoever could afford regret. But Chen Bo's detachment meant he would survive the new regime. Survival was the only loyalty left. Li Rong left the broken watch with Mei Lan at the hospital. She treated enemies first. She bled the same. He told her he was going north. She looked back, tired. The rail lines were slower heading toward the capital. They moved with official caution. Li Rong rode in the back of a customs car. He watched the landscape shift. The closer he moved to Beijing, the more obvious the fracturing became. The old Beiyang gray uniforms were everywhere. They looked worn. The soldiers had the desperate, hollow look of men fighting for a flag that changed names before the ink dried. The capital itself was chaos dressed in ceremony. Commander Wu Pei still clung to the center. Wu Pei valued honor and institutional order. He represented the dying old guard. He was trying to hold the fracturing Beiyang government together. Li Rong reported to the old barracks. It smelled of mildew and stale tea. Wu Pei received him quickly. He was exhausted, driven by old commitments. Wu Pei spoke of the need for legitimacy. He spoke of political maneuvers, conferences, and seals. Li Rong saw only logistics. The marshal had the rail, the revenue, the troops. Wu Pei had only paperwork. Wu Pei issued a new order. Li Rong was to scout the northern perimeter. Observe the movements of Marshal Zhang Jun's forces. Li Rong accepted. He was closer now, closer to the politics that had swallowed his brother. He rode out into the plains north of Beijing. The tension was immediate. The territory was disputed. He moved quietly. He was trained to observe, to be unseen. He found the advanced Fengtian scouting parties quickly. They were professional, well-equipped. They were not raiding. They were surveying, mapping the terrain for heavy artillery. Zhang Jun was not fighting a bandit war. He was planning a siege. Li Rong realized that Wu Pei's defense strategy was months behind the reality. The northern strongman was preparing to collapse the capital entirely. Li Rong also observed a different group. Soldiers in distinct, tightly disciplined uniforms. These were the Guominjin, General Feng Wei's forces. Feng Wei was the devout reformer. He banned gambling and opium. He called his men the Christian army. They were marching not like soldiers, but like a pilgrimage. Their discipline was frightening. They were positioned on the periphery of the capital's defense. But they were not engaging Zhang Jun. They were watching Wu Pei. Li Rong knew betrayal always started with quiet observation. Consequence: Li Rong realized the capital was threatened not only by the north, but by the reformist forces from within. Li Rong reported back to Commander Wu Pei. He gave a clipped, pragmatic assessment of the Fengtian build-up. Logistics, not morale, would win this war. He also reported on Feng Wei's unsettling presence. Wu Pei dismissed the threat from Feng Wei. He saw Feng as a philosophical oddity, a reformer. Wu Pei focused on his political maneuvers. He was trying to organize a temporary coalition of southern generals. He believed legitimacy would beat raw power. Wu Pei asked Li Rong about the rail spur he had left. He needed status updates. Assurance. Li Rong lied by omission. He reported the rail was secured by local forces. He did not mention the Fengtian armored train that had annexed the town. Li Rong needed Wu Pei to stay calm. He needed the capital intact long enough to find Yang. The pressure inside the military staff was visible. Arguments were constant. Trust had dissolved. A senior officer burst in. carrying a coded message from a southern ally. The ally was demanding an immediate disbursement of customs revenue to fund their forces. Wu Pei raged. They were fighting for the country, not for tax receipts. But Li Rong knew the truth. Armies were patronage machines. Gold weighed less than guilt. Wu Pei had neither. Li Rong watched the decay of the capital command. He saw men making decisions based on fear and private profit. He sought out a mercenary contact, an intelligence broker who worked the supply lines. He found Duan Yi. The mercenary was sardonic, cool, and transactional. Duan Yi was positioned perfectly. He moved goods between Wu Pei and the Fengtian lines. Li Rong asked about Zhang Jun's purge, the night raid that ransacked his home. Duan Yi listened with exhaustion dressed as apathy. He never shot first. He always shot last. He confirmed that Zhang Jun was purging his ranks of southern agitators. Anyone suspected of sympathy for the emerging nationalist cause. This confirmed Li Rong's fear. Yang had gone north, but he had likely joined a cell opposed to Zhang Jun, not serving him. Li Rong showed Duan Yi the torn piece of Yang's uniform. Duan Yi studied the scorched fabric. He looked toward the Guominjun positions, Feng Wei's lines. He said that Feng Wei's army had recently recruited former political prisoners and disillusioned young radicals. Duan Yi took a slow drag of his cigarette. He called it business. Others called it sin. He hinted that if Yang had escaped Zhang Jun, the only place desperate enough to hide him was General Feng's ranks. Li Rong moved out to observe Feng Wei's Guominjun camp. The discipline was striking. No gambling. No opium. Strict religious observance. Feng Wei intended to implement moral reform. He was a kingmaker in the capital. Li Rong watched the troops drill. They moved with ideological fire. But Li Rong saw the potential for violence in their certainty. Reform turned martial was frightening. He watched Feng Wei himself address the soldiers. A commanding, unpredictable figure. He spoke of morality in God. He spoke of purifying the land. He smiled the way a wolf smiles when it's already eaten. Feng Wei believed loyalty was a kind of tax, collected, not given. Li Rong realized that Feng Wei wasn't interested in saving the Beiyang government. He was interested in replacing it. His mercy fit inside a bullet. Li Rong returned to the capital, uneasy. The center was weak, and the fanatic was waiting. He returned to Wu Pei's headquarters near midnight. The air was heavy, charged with anticipation. Everyone waited for the Northern Hammer. A runner approached Li Rong with a sealed paper. It was from the logistics corps. It was a full list of all available rolling stock, train cars, coal tenders, armored engines. The list was heavily redacted. All the rail stock was moving south, away from the coming Fengtian attack. The staff was preparing an evacuation. Wu Pei was planning a strategic retreat. He was abandoning the symbolic capital to preserve his command. He would not tell his men. He would not tell the city. He was moving the patronage machine to a safer region. Li Rong felt the surge of betrayal. Wu Pei valued institutional order, but he prioritized his own survival. This was the nature of the Warlord Era. Small loyalties beat ideology. Li Rong was now alone in a dying city, trapped between two armies and his brother's potential new loyalty. He decided he would join Wu Pei's retreat. He would move south, use the rail assets, and search for Yang in the wake of the battle. He wrote a short message to Mei Lan. Prepare the hospital. The withdrawal will be messy. Li Rong was preparing his departure at the rail station. The scene was frantic. Junior officers were bribing engineers to attach their freight to the engines. The sound of coins was louder than prayers. The station telegraph office sputtered alive. A signal came through. Urgent. Coded. It was addressed to Wu Pei's command, but the operator handed it directly to the senior-most man he saw, Li Rong. The telegram was short. It was a military status report from the southern flank. Li Rong read the message. The familiar, clipped language of tactical deployment. It confirmed massive, rapid mobilization. But it was not Zhang Jun's insignia. The telegram was stamped with the seal of the Guominjun. The dispatch read, Forces moving north at speed. Objective, capital perimeter. Orders, containment and reform. The message was signed by General Feng Wei. Feng Wei was not waiting for Zhang Jun. He was moving now. He was staging his coup. Li Rong looked up. The station was emptying out. The trains were pulling out. If Feng Wei marched, he would close the escape routes. He would seize the center. He had to warn Wu Pei. He had to save the city. He He turned to run back toward headquarters, but the station lights flickered once. Then they died. The telegraph lines had been cut. The darkness descended over the capital. Li Rong realized he was trapped in a political fracture. He looked toward the north, the direction of Feng Wei's approaching army. He saw the first flicker of fires on the northern horizon. Not artillery, but the disciplined signaling of a large force moving fast. The midnight telegram had revealed the truth. Feng Wei's Christian army was not coming to help Wu Pei. They were coming to bury him.